I'd like to acknowledge that this episode of the Teach New South Wales podcast was recorded on the homelands of the Darug people. I'd like to pay respect to elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples listening today. Welcome to the Teach New South Wales podcast, a podcast by teachers for teachers.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Teach New South Wales podcast. It is myself, Shannon, and my co-host, Siobhan, joining you.
Hello.
We're back again for another very exciting episode, and today we have plus two. So 2 new guests joining us on the couch. We have Perry and Sheridan, who are both teachers, and they are also both proud facilitators of what's called the Future Teachers Club at Macquarie Fields High School on the land of the Darawal people. Now, the Future Teachers Club was founded in 2013 by Perry, who his passion in teaching led him to create it at Macquarie Fields High. The program has given interested secondary school students a behind-the-scenes chance to experience teaching as a career, and it has had more than 300 students participate in 2024, which is a huge feat. It's also looking to be expanded into other schools across our New South Wales public school system, and many program alumni have gone on to join the teaching profession, which is really exciting. He has so graciously built this program up and shared its impact with other staff to ensure it has continued success into the future. And for this reason, Sheridan joins us on the couch to discuss how Perry's mentorship has aided her in continuing the FTC at Macquarie Fields and the impact she's seen at a school and at a statewide level. So we're really excited to have you both. Welcome.
Thank you.
So that was a huge intro, but very fitting.
Well done, Shannon.
Thank you. I can take a breath now and throw to Siobhan.
Yeah, and welcome Perry and welcome Sheridan to the couch. It's great to have you. I'm going to start you off by asking you a few icebreakers. So Perry, if you'd like to go first, I'd be interested to hear from you. If you could go to dinner with any influential person, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Oh, well, dead or alive.
Yeah. And they can be, a fictional character as well if you...
Fictional?
Yeah, if you'd like, but...
Maybe President Kennedy, because I actually lived in the States at the time that he was assassinated, when he actually beat Nixon in the first election. And, he was young. He had the idea of the American, reinventing the American culture. And all of the people in my age bracket, the baby boomers all thought he was amazing. So I think he had his dark side as well, but as far as what he did for the States, it sort of transformed the beginning of the modern era. And, he was real big on education, which is really important. And because people don't realize that in the 1950s, only 6% of Americans had degrees. And so this whole idea of public education and the universities all came really in the 60s. And this after Kennedy's influence, I think.
Well, it's very fitting for today's episode with the theme of education. And I've learnt something, there you go, with that fun fact. What about yourself, Sheridan? Any influential person who can take you for dinner? Who are you picking and why?
Oh, that would be a hard one. I think education-wise, I'm not going to choose that answer. I think I'm going to go for a fun,
Go for it.
left of field answer because Perry has obviously taken that approach. We're going to dinner with Bob Marley.
Nice.
Yeah, I love his music and what he stood for. I think it'd be really interesting to hear from him and ask him questions and obviously the peace movement.
He'd have some good stories, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think it'd be fun to meet him.
Excellent. And I'm interested to hear from you both. Do you have a hobby or special interest happening at the moment? And if you don't, do you have some sort of hobby that you'd like to pick up? I'll go to you first, Perry.
Yes, I do.
Yes, tell us.
Since the Beatles came in 1964, I played the guitar.
Yeah.
And I have a massive collection of some vintage ones. And when I finally do retire shortly, I'm going to probably try to start another band or at least do some recording.
Nice.
Because it's been a passion with me all the time. And it parallels the whole teaching thing too, because you have to plan, you have to execute, you have to improve
and perform.
And perform, of course. And it's I love it. What's my favorite guitar? I don't know. I think it's probably my PRS, which is the most expensive one, but doesn't mean it's the best.
Ooh.
But yeah, I'm a guitar nut. I've always been asked, should I be a music teacher? But
yeah,
I'm not into, you know what I mean? Like, I like the social sciences. The teaching's been an add-on. It's been something auxiliary that I could actually go to. And as the Sharon knows, we play guitars at school.
Yeah.
At the various, the picnics and celebration day.
I'm sure your events go off.
Perry is very good.
Oh, excellent. He's a shredder on the guitar.
Oh my gosh, yes. Very much so.
Very cool.
And he's so humble about it too.
Well, we'll have to organise outside of the podcast session a little jam sesh, Perry. We'll add that to the to-do list.
Time.
I think I could bring my skill set would probably extend to the triangle.
Yeah, I could tambourine in the background. I've got a bit of rhythm.
Nice percussion.
We can do some tambourining and ad-libs as well.
Absolutely.
You can get some ad-libs from us, definitely.
Backup dancing.
Exactly.
We're here for it.
What about you, Sheridan? Any hobbies going at the moment, special interests?
It's funny you say that because Perry obviously is so passionate about guitar, and when I was in high school, I used to play the drums.
Nice.
And I haven't played them in years. I sold my drum kit because the neighbors got cranky and and obviously when I moved out of home and things like that, obviously space becomes a lot tighter. But I would like to actually get back into that. And it's funny because Perry convinced me to join the school teacher band.
Nice.
Yep. You were
2 years ago? Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah, I'm a bit rusty.
What a great initiative.
Yeah, it was
For each
fun.
band.
Yeah, it was fun. We used to like meet in the mornings and practice. I'm a bit rusty, but
You were okay. You were all right.
The highest of expectations.
Perry's being too kind. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun, and I think it would be nice to get back into that. But again, time.
Sharon shared the drum duties with the music teacher, Luke, and we also had the science head teacher played bass and singing, and I played the guitar, and it was a bit of a trio, but it was great. We
It was
did
fun.
come together, and a lot of really good tunes, didn't we?
It was. I think the most fun about it too is the kids, the shock when they see the teachers up the front. They're like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, and wait,
Oh,
they're
that's-
actually
yeah,
good.
exactly.
They're actually good. Oh, some of my favourite memories from high school were those end of year performances. We had one at our school. It was, name of the school's Got Talent. And I loved, the teachers would judge, but then there'd always be that surprise teacher performance. And I used to always think that was just one of my favourite memories from school. So I'm sure you've created lots of happy memories for the students at your school by sharing your musical talents, which is great.
And it's good laugh too.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'll hand over to Shannon and we'll jump into the crux of the episode, I suppose, which is talking all things Future Teachers Club.
Yeah, thanks, Siobhan. So Siobhan and I have been very fortunate to work with you both and see what the Future Teachers Club looks like in action. But I suppose for everyone listening, Sheridan, could you give us a run through of what exactly the Future Teachers Club is?
Yeah, sure. So obviously Perry created it and founded the club. And I jumped on board. I'm trying to think now. Was it pre-COVID?
2018, I think.
2018 or 2019, yeah. Perry designed the club to be like a non-strenuous activity for the kids. So like it's participate in what you like. And that's the beauty about the club. It's not like homework. It's not anything too strenuous on the students, and the expectations are set by themselves. So, obviously when the club first started, we had a couple of initiatives running, like we did the primary school visit, the micro teaching lessons where students could learn how to deliver a lesson and do like a little micro lesson and choose which subject they teach and also which teachers mentor them, which is really great. And as we all say, to experience the other side of the desk, and I think that is the beauty of the club is, obviously we can all speak to going to university, and a lot of us when we go to university, you don't teach until the 3rd or 4th year, and you have really no idea what you're signing up for until you step foot into that classroom. You can learn about education, you can learn about all the theories behind it, behavior management, but until you're in the front of a class, you don't really know what you're in for. So I think that is the main reason why students join the club, is to experience that and have, and those soft skills too that they learn about, lesson planning, communication, getting up in front of their peers, or maybe a junior class, as we always recommend, to go below a few grades and to deliver those lessons and experience what education is like on a teacher level. I think that's why students join the club. And they also join the club too because it's so social. They meet other students that aren't necessarily in their own grade, and they do a lot of teamwork, and
They team teach.
They team teach. Yep. And I think too also they build more connections with their teachers as well.
Yeah, seeing
Beyond
each
the
other in
classroom.
a different light.
Yeah.
And what years is it open to?
Year 8 to 12.
Oh, fantastic.
So when they're year 7, they're getting used to the school.
Yeah.
But sometimes they sneak in. We get the odd year 7. But what Sheridan's saying is absolutely right. I just want to say that the idea of this is unique. It's the first one in Australia. I'm so proud of that. But the fact is, I was in one in the U.S. when I was in high school in 1967. Can you believe that? And we didn't teach. I think the one we have in Australia now that we started at Macquarie Fields is the only one to actually have the kids engage in a lesson and have it evaluated and observed, and they do lesson plans. I don't think it's ever been done. If you go online, you see Future Teachers Club. Hawaii's got one, California, Europe, but I think it's a careers club. So you sit around like we used to do at lunchtime, and they tell you, this is what you need to do, what subject, how to teach this subject. You might observe a lesson, but you couldn't go in there and hands-on, just like that famous expression, you're on the other side of the desk.
Yeah.
Everyone that comes out of it, they realize right away how different it is from doing an assignment or an assessment task. They have got a strange class. They get a topic to present. They got to deliver it. They've got an evaluation at the end of it. They see how different it is than just doing an assignment or reading your PowerPoint. And that's what we like a lot. I think that's exactly what Sheridan said. That's what they get out of it.
Yeah.
All these soft skills. They learn to public speak a bit, which is really important in so many jobs. But I got to say that when I started this thing, it wasn't to make everybody a teacher. That's what the department first said. These kids have had experience of what it's like to be a teacher. They never have been in education for 12 years. They never actually do that, something that's actually to this teaching standards, to a curriculum, a syllabus, and they have to actually present something. They're always given an assignment, right? And that's what I think that's what we've done. It's really unique. And now that's spreading to other schools and so on. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And we're also looking at education in different settings as well. So we're like giving students now the ability to see education beyond the classroom. So we've gone to museums.
The aquarium, the museums, the Australian Museum love this. They even had our name up on their lecture hall. Future Teachers Club is amazing. They said you can come back anytime you want. They've never had it done. That's the thing I like at my age too. When you do something that's leading edge, it's never been done before, not just picking up something else. And I think that's what I want our school to be remembered about. We were the first in the world, really, where kids teach in the classroom.
Well, it is revolutionary, and I'd be interested to hear from you, Perry, as the founder. How have you sort of built up the reins of other teachers like Sheridan so that they can sort of take your initial foundation of the Future Teachers Club and keep it progressing for years to come?
It's been hard. It's been hard because when we started it out, it was my idea. I got kids to sign up, over 100. And we started to make the sheet that would be the lesson plan, blah, blah, blah. Then I got with the principal at the time, Jan Dulstra, and she really backed it up. She said 100%. She said, this is the best thing ever. So she helped me, given this time school, prepare, all that sort of thing. That really worked out well. And Sheridan was the one that when I was starting to retire 5 years ago, she could put her hand up, and she was right with me like for 4 years. Every excursion we did, all the preparation, she put on the technology part of the Google Classroom and stuff. And that really worked out well. But I'm saying that when I see the teachers are doing it in other schools too, they seem to be, one or two in every place. They seem to not have so much trouble. But I think because we were the first ones, a lot of the teachers were afraid to jump on board because they thought, can we outdo Perry? I don't think they can anyway, but they thought, well, I don't want to have a go because he's done it. But you were brave, young lady, so you did a fantastic job.
Well, you were putting the blueprint down, and I suppose I'd love to hear from you, Sheridan. You've obviously learnt a vast amount from Perry. I'd like to hear what impact that's had on you, and then moving that forward, it is so exciting that it's being embedded in other schools across the state. Can you talk to us a little bit about what that's been like as a role for you?
Yeah, sure. So obviously when I started helping Perry a fair few years ago now, I think it was probably the best decision I made in my career because, I'd been teaching 5 or 6 years and I thought, I was kind of in that point in your career where you're comfortable, but then you're not sure what you want to do and where you want to move forward in your career. When I heard Perry was looking for someone to to move the club forward. And obviously Perry and I were friends, playground duty, have good chats at lunch and things like that.
And you also can teach geography.
Correct. Yeah, I am a geographer by trade, I suppose. I haven't taught geography in many years, but, we relate on that level. I thought it was a great opportunity, and it was probably the best thing I did for my career because Perry is probably the most passionate teacher I know, in terms of he loves education, loves the kids, will do anything for the kids. And, that really inspired me to become a better teacher myself, beyond the classroom, not just what I'm doing in my PDHB lessons. And, working with him on the club, it really reminded me of why I became a teacher. And teaching these kids about education. And yes, they're not all going to move forward and become a teacher. I mean, they learn all the soft skills to help them in any career they go into, I guess. But, the fact that if I can inspire one or two students to become a teacher and share that joy and passion of teaching, I think that, that really does go a long way. And seeing the joy on the students' faces when they come out of a lesson and they're so excited to tell you how their lesson went. Yeah. I think that that's really nice. And also hearing from other staff going, wow, your students are, some of them are outdoing us, with their lesson ideas and things like that. That is, something that you don't get to hear in your everyday role teaching ordinarily sort of thing. So yeah, I think definitely, best decision ever to become a Future Teachers Club coordinator. And I think it's really exciting that it is expanding now because, talking with some of the other teachers that are developing the club in their schools, they're kind of relating to what I was saying, I love my job, but I didn't realize that my love for teaching was so strong until I noticed students, delivering lessons and becoming inspired to become a teacher, or, even the fact that they just respect their teachers more and they respect the profession more because they're experiencing firsthand what we do day in, day out.
That's important, definitely.
It's an impact on a school-wide level also, because you're probably, interacting with students who you may not have taught in your faculty area. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely. And that is the nice thing about the club is, some schools are huge, right? Macquarie Fields has 11 or 1,200 students. We're full to the brim. And, being a high school teacher, you do see multiple classes a day, but you still don't get to teach every student. So yeah, I suppose building relationships with students that you wouldn't ordinarily teach is great. And I think too, getting to know the kids on a more personal level, outside of the classroom, and they will share things with you that you can help them with, particularly confidence-wise and things like that. And the fun stories that they come back and tell us, definitely. Yeah, I think, and it's nice because when you walk, you walk from classroom to classroom and you might have, a subject or lesson the whole way down the other end of the school. And the fact that kids are waving to you and saying hi and excited to let you know what's going on in their life and what they're doing in the club, that's really nice. It's
certainly
something that you won't experience unless you do the position of Future Teachers Club coordinator.
Yeah.
Well, if I can say, that is lovely, thank you. But people out there probably want to know what we actually do because they all taught, and I thought I'll give you a little synopsis of if any other school wants to do it, because we were first in so many ways. Initially, it's made to you go teach a lesson. You have to do one thing during the year. Right? They can go to one excursion, they can go to one camp, they can go to the university, a school visit, they can teach, but they should teach a lesson.
Yeah.
But what we opened up was, first of all, we have remote schools in the country. We have a Yanko trip that's going every year. To me, it's the best excursion in the state. We go to Juni, Narendra, Hay High School, the Memorial High School, and we also, they see what country life is like. Last time we did it, and Sherry was with us, we had the Bollywood dancers, mention them in the country in the primary school, in Burrawa, teaching the kids how to do Indian dancing. It was just amazing. They loved it. And that's teaching, right?
Yeah.
So we have that. So that's one big thing. The other thing was our university. COVID stopped this a bit, but we used to go to Sydney University every year and give a lecture. So we had these kids from year 8 to 12 in groups that each would teach 5 minutes on something the university gave us. One was, what's a good assessment task? And one was, what is a multicultural school like? And I was so proud of them. It was so amazing. These were the MA students at the lecture hall in Sydney University. So every year we would do that. And then lately we've gone to UTS as well.
Yeah.
And, we want to expand that as well. So we have our visits. We also have normal school visits. And I think that's going to become big now that other schools are doing it. They can come to us and teach. We can go there and teach. We just fit that in the program, right? We also had the pop-up classroom. We went to MacArthur Mall, and the kids set up a classroom in the middle of the mall while people were shopping and taught different probability and math. So I remember they're doing drawing. So little kids with their mothers, they're drawing with them. It was amazing. We did that twice, and that should have never been done either. So the idea that what we do is that we give them a range of things they can do. To me, it's like because we all know that what we do is not just teach. We're, guidance counselors, psychologists.
Yeah.
And we have to deal with all this every day. People that aren't teachers always say to me, like, how do you do it? Because they have a trouble with the 2 teenagers they have at home. We got 150 a day that we're teaching, right? And that's a skill to be able to do that and make it out through the day and be happy too, which we are.
Yeah.
But so we've got these different things, and we're always looking for something new to actually take the ball and run more with it. What we're going to do now is we're going to actually have a compulsory professional lunchtime for each kid in groups to actually go through the whole process of teaching and filling out the form. And so they're absolutely clear on it. Instead of just giving the form and go to a teacher, we're going to have them,
do some professional learning.
So they can know what the professional learning is like, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a great step forward.
And another exciting thing that has just popped up in since we're in 2025 now, 2023, was one of the local universities has just done a program called Step Up into Teaching. And Jan, who was working alongside Perry and I, and supported Perry a lot, she's been coordinating with ACU in doing a Step Up into Teaching program. And we're looking at expanding it into other universities where it's never been done before. We have students from years 10, 11 and 12, they complete a summer school subject at the university and receive credit.
No hex.
So no hex.
Unit towards their degree.
Excellent.
Amazing.
Which is
Fantastic.
It's very exciting. And not only is it students from our school, but it's open to students from other schools as well. And there's been some really good feedback around that. And we had some students just recently completed that these holidays.
Excellent.
Very good.
Which is really exciting because they're shaving off a bit of time and money into their university degree and getting them into classrooms faster so they can do their job.
Which is great to hear. So both of you kind of mentioned in your previous answers we're talking about the expansion of the Future Teachers Club. So moving it beyond Macquarie Fields High School and into, sort of this statewide phenomenon that's going to ultimately impact the future pipeline of teachers. So I'd be interested to hear from you. How do you actually see the Future Teachers Club contributing to the development of future teachers and the quality of teaching and learning in New South Wales public schools?
Well, first of all, it's definitely going to help the quality because the people that go through it like it. They're starting with a bit of a passion. They have some organized ideas of how to do something in the classroom. So when they get to university, they're a bit prepped. Whereas a lot of people, because I know when they came to Australia, they used to do their first prac in year 3, and they'd already had 2 years of theory or whatever, and then they had a prac. They didn't like it. That's another thing that gave me the idea of this. I thought, well, these kids can start in high school actually teaching and developing a lesson. They might want it to continue. And a lot of kids, which we don't really know the number, actually change their majors when they actually get to uni. I know a lot of kids that come to me, I'm doing secondary education. I was doing accounting or whatever, and I'm really proud of that.
Yeah.
We have 8 kids in our school that are teaching. 3 of them have full-time jobs, permanent now.
Wonderful.
That went through the program.
And we were talking about quality before, in terms of ensuring the quality of, what the students are producing. I am familiar that you base a lot of your teachings in the Future Teachers Club off the Australian Professional Standards for Teachers.
We do. So obviously when they complete their lesson plans, they have to create a quality lesson plan, and whichever teacher they decide to have as their mentor and run that lesson, they oversee the lesson plan prior to teaching. So like university students, they have to have their lesson plan in 24 hours prior, and they make sure that's okay. But then another duty of that mentor teacher or supervising teacher, I suppose, is they complete a lesson evaluation. So students get feedback on how their lesson went. And I think that is something that's really valuable because, effective feedback is great in obviously, improving our teaching. And even as experienced teachers, you can always learn something new and also upskill yourself. And those evaluation sheets have the teaching standards on there. So
it's like this, like Sydney University, when you have prac students, we used to have a form we had to fill out on each person for the lesson, right? And talk about where they were strong, where they were weak in the standards. Ours is pretty much the same, right? And at the end, the teacher makes their own comment about what they thought as an observer. But I think that's one of the first things I know with Jan, when she was principal, she saw what we were doing. So that's amazing. Not only is this like the first, we're actually doing something that's basically like a university level idea. And that's where we've taken off from.
It's great to hear.
Yeah, amazing. And you mentioned, was it 8 students that are now working back at Macquarie Fields High School?
Yep.
Fantastic. Are there any sort of alumni that come to mind from the club, and, what impact did they have on you?
A big one, which I know you're going to say, we have Inara, the lovely Inara.
Who actually joined us on the couch. We've done a episode with Inara. If anyone wants to listen, we'll add it to the show notes.
She started with the club and decided right away after her first lesson, that's what she wanted to do. So that's the power of this thing. She went through, years 11 and 12. Then she went to uni, Sydney Uni. She's going to be a history teacher, English, and came back and taught at our place and other schools as well. She's doing fantastic. Then we have Mabel, who joined late. She joined the end of year 10, but she decided she wants to be an economics and maths teacher.
Excellent.
She came back, and she's in the maths faculty now, and as is Bill, another guy, who is amazing. Just show what this can do. We talked to 300 principals at this meeting, right, in Sydney, and we all got up and did a little speech, and they were fantastic, right? I mean, like, it was just... You're so proud that these kids could actually hold their own, with these people. And Bill was not a good public speaker. I tell you what, effervescence. He got up there.
Amazing.
And he's still today, he's in the maths department.
Yeah.
He's a teacher there. He just saw the light and he just transformed.
Caterpillar became a butterfly. It was incredible.
That made me really proud.
Proud of Bill too.
That made me really, really proud that he could do that. So we have another one, Nafisa, who was in my society and culture class. She came back. She's a history teacher too, just last year. She was doing casual, but then she's got a permanent job, right? Which is kind of good.
Yeah.
It's good too because many of our FTC alumni, they're applying for Teach New South Wales scholarships and getting them, which is incredible. And the opportunity with Teach New South Wales is just amazing. And, just 2 of our students, Emma and Ronald, they're going to start their scholarship next year.
Oh, excellent.
Fantastic.
Yeah, 12 this year, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
How do you truly feel knowing that you're impacting the future, pipeline of teachers that are coming through within our system? How does that actually make you feel?
It's like your own children.
Yeah.
I have 4 kids, and none of them became a teacher. They almost did. That broke my heart. One's a pilot, one's works for the government camera. But that just makes you as happy as you can be.
What about you, Sheridan? What does it mean for you?
I think the fact that the students are so inspired to become teachers through the program, that it's reminds you that your job is not just to deliver content to it and, for them to take a test and complete their HSC. It's, life skills that they're going to take with them forever. We went on a trip to Yanko a couple of years ago, and the kids still talk about it. It's so funny. I remember when the bus broke down and
It's a lifelong memory, isn't it, for them?
Yeah. And we got stuck at a cemetery on the side of a
Graveyard for 3 hours. Yeah.
3 hours. And, the kids talk about, what we discuss there and things like that. And it's nice because it's like, well, it was ridiculous at the time when we were stuck, but, those memories that they create and, they think about education, not just, about the academic side, but also like the wellbeing side and the social side. And also, the friendships that they make too throughout this whole experience is really nice,
And yeah, exactly right, Sharon. And I think a big thing about it is, which I'm proud of as a geography teacher too, is that when we take the kids out the bush and they see these country schools, Most of them have never been out there. They go to the coast, the beach, whatever, the Blue Mountains, but they've never been, to the central part of New South Wales or up the north coast, like Armidale, so on. And I'm proud of that because that opens up a whole new world.
Yeah.
Not only just as a teacher, but to see what's possible, what the lifestyle is, the culture. And I think that's another thing we get to do.
Well, I remember when the bus had to stop for like a solid half an hour because the sheep just kept crossing the road. And like we were
such a far cry from what the students would sort of know in their realm.
Exactly. And, one of our students, or not student now, he's actually a pre-service teacher, but he was actually really inspired to become a rural remote teacher.
Nice.
He's
Fantastic.
considering a job not in Western Sydney, but actually moving out to a remote area and teaching out there because of the experience of going on those trips in high school, and I think, obviously the Beyond the Line project that Teach New South Wales does, I feel like it's just like a little glimpse into something like that. And, the reality is they do need teachers out there, and the fact that we can, encourage and inspire students to do that is really exciting.
Definitely.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
And I suppose geography is quite topical for you both. So thinking about our New South Wales state, and there might be people tuning in who are pre-service teachers or early career teachers or even school leaders in our public schools at the moment. What advice would you give to them looking to bring a Future Teachers Club into their school community?
I think they should meet with another teacher so they have somebody at the beginning to sort of bounce off, which would be better than just yourself. Have a meeting with a senior executive, the principal especially, tell them what you want to do, float it to the kids who wants to do it, maybe have a sheet or an assembly and discuss what you can do to sign up is what we did, and then take the first group and put them through the idea of how to teach a lesson. And while they're doing that, the people that you're working with, the teachers, decide what else you can do. The local primary school, daycares, university visits, maybe a camp, to a country school. And these are all great things to do. And if they open up something that nothing's ever been done like that.
I agree with Perry. I think definitely you need support from above. So, our current principal, Karen, she's amazing. She's supported the club the whole way through. And I definitely think that schools that are starting up the club, support from the exec, and then obviously and Perry, I'm surprised you haven't actually mentioned this, but you need a passionate teacher to take on the role of Future Teachers Club coordinator because, without that passion, you can't inspire students. So, and, we all kind of like have our days where we, lose our sparkle, but, I think definitely it needs to be someone that's like willing to really inspire students. And as well too, I think it works good if you have a team, especially I think doing the club on your own like Perry did for many years, it definitely is a busy job. And I think that, if you can bounce off each other and inspire each other to, come up with some fun, creative ideas. Like, the club itself changes each year in terms of what we do. And I think that, because the club, the idea of the club is expanding out into different schools, I think definitely some networking really helps. So, we're always open to people contacting us and letting us know if they need, a bit of inspiration or a little bit of help. I think too, knowing your students and what they're interested in and building the club around that is important. So, I think, if you have students that are really interested in primary teaching, we'll get in touch with your local primary schools and make contact with them and look for opportunity. A lot of cold calling, but
what's the power of relationship building, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I think there's 3 ways that can be done. I think we started with the mass group, just because we were passionate about it. We wanted to see how many people wanted to be in it. And over 1,000 is amazing. But we didn't expect that. But you could do that. You could also have the mentoring idea where you take 1 or 2 students, doesn't have to be one, and take them through, lessons over a term, and they could teach your class, sort of like they do with prac students when they observe. So that could be more one-on-one. And then you have a middle one where you have a program that they have to do, like they have to go to primary school, they have to then teach a lesson, they have to go to school visit, like 3 things during the year. Whereas we have it open, you can elect what you're interested in doing, which I think, and today it's really good.
You're building advocacy for the profession. Yeah. And an awareness of what your teachers are doing within schools and that newfound appreciation, I suppose, from the students.
Okay, we've got a tough one for you now, Perry. Can you give me a one-sentence summary I'll give you a few extra words if necessary. Summarize what the Future Teachers Club is.
To give each individual student that's interested a genuine experience of what the teaching culture is. Because to me, teaching's a culture. It's not a job. And they will be on the edge of it if they start doing that.
Well, thank you so much to the both of you, Perry and Sheridan, for joining us on the couch today. It's been an absolute pleasure hearing about the entire journey of FTC from foundation to expansion. It's been really great to hear, and we're excited to see what comes next in the future for you both.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Okay. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend. And until next time, we'll see you again on the Teach New South Wales podcast. Take care.
Bye. Thank you for tuning in to the Teach New South Wales podcast, where we explore the dynamic world of education. Don't forget to follow, like and subscribe to be notified when new episodes become available. You can find us on social media via our handle @TeachNewSouthWales. Until next time, keep learning, keep teaching and keep making a difference. This podcast is produced by the Teach New South Wales team from the New South Wales Department of Education.